Welcome to Conversations Different, a podcast of the Santa Fe New Mexican, featuring interesting people and issues of northern New Mexico. This week, we're talking about food, a favorite topic for all of us. With us is Robert McCormick, who started the Santa Fe Foodies Facebook page back in 2018, I believe. It has become a virtual and real-life gathering place, and we want to know more about it. Welcome, Robert.
Hi.
So what made you start Santa Fe Foodies?
Well, back at around 2015 or so, I had a Cuban restaurant. I'm Cuban American, and it was on 3rd Street in Cerrillos. It was called Cuba Fe. And during that time period, I was trying to figure out how to promote the restaurant. And there weren't any foodies groups that were very receptive to businesses, to promoting businesses. So
they wanted to talk about food and what they liked, but it wasn't necessarily a place to say, hey, I've got a great new dish, come by.
Yeah, but they weren't pro-business. They weren't very supportive. So there was one who was fine, but he charged to be on the group for advertising, and I was pretty much broke. I mean, we could barely keep our doors open. So I said, I'm going to start a group, and it's just going to be wide open. It'll be pro-business. You can talk about your Fruit Loops and milk, or you can talk about your steak dinner that you had at Geronimo or whatever, and just kept it wide open. And then it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And yeah.
Yeah, my sense is that the pandemic really kind of accelerated the growth. At least that's when I found out more about it. And when people were posting their dinners and their breads and all the different things they were doing, and it really started to form like almost real life friendships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, during COVID, social media groups in general, all over the internet on different platforms, exploded because everybody was looking for ways to socialize while we were all in lockdown.
Yep.
So not only my group exploded, but all sorts of groups exploded. But for some reason, the Santa Fe Foodie stuff, the way I do it, the concept has been, people are very much more active and social on my groups.
Well, and it's not just a virtual group now. You guys have meetups and go out to dinner together and even drive. Where did you go? You drove to Tumbleroot someplace?
Yeah, on Sunday we went to Magdalena.
Which is like down, like far away.
Yeah, it's like right next to the big array.
Yeah.
The satellite dishes. It was so cool.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, so we had a little meetup there, and we're doing cooking classes now. And I'm actually in June, I've got it all set up and ready to go. We're launching Santa Fe Food and History walking tours.
Oh, nice.
Which we're starting in June. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you can go to the 3 sites where the breakfast burrito was invented.
Yeah.
So how do you think it, I was looking, because it's not just the Foodies Facebook page. There's now a Santa Fe Foodies website. Mm-hmm. And if I'm coming to Santa Fe and I want to eat enchiladas, I can go and look at where to go for dinner, where to go for lunch, who has the best breakfasts or whatever. So it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of work. I'd probably put about 60 hours a week on the Facebook groups and working on the website and managing my clients. I have clients. So, it's a job. It's a real job. Which I'm happy about.
No, that makes sense. And I guess if it's a job, that means you make money.
Yes.
Yay. That's always the hope of a job, isn't it?
Well, I love it. I mean, because when I moved out here from Los Angeles back in 2011, part of my dream was, I'm a musician. I'm an artist. So I said, I want to come out here and be an artist and work on my music and be creative. And I want to figure out create some kind of business that I enjoy, that I can wake up in the morning and say, oh, cool, this is what I have to do today. Great. And so this happened, and I'm very, very, very happy.
So you have more than one Foodies page. Are you involved with the Albuquerque Foodies as well?
Yeah, that's also my group. Everything is slowly evolving towards New Mexico Foodies.
Okay.
And I'm actually getting ready to experiment with a new platform that is completely different, that is not only food related, but I don't want to talk about that yet.
Okay, so it's a big secret.
Yeah, it's basically going to be like Facebook.
Oh, like a food Facebook kind of thing?
No. It's going to be like Facebook, but
something else.
Yeah, we'll see when I'm ready to launch it. It's probably about a year or year and a half away.
Okay, everybody, you heard it here first, though. One of the things that cracks me up about Foodies is the many circular discussions that come up. And I was like, is the most popular question, where are the bagels in Santa Fe? Or Or what do you think the most popular question that keeps
Do you want me to
repeated?
rattle off the top the most popular subjects?
Yes, totally.
Okay. Hamburgers, of course.
Yes.
Right? New Mexican food.
Yes.
Right? Pizza. Right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Sushi.
Yes.
Sushi's super popular, right? Everybody loves it. That's my favorite cuisine is sushi. Those are the most popular things. Bagels come up also. Not as often as usual, but bagels is another popular topic.
It's kind of died.
It'll come back up.
Yeah, no,
Everything
it
kind of goes
definitely
in
will.
cycles.
Yeah. We've decided that because the water and the altitude occur, there's something about Santa Fe and northern New Mexico that our bagels aren't quite right.
You know what? I lived in New York City for a long time.
Yep.
So the people that want to debate about bagels not being so, I mean, there's some there's some great bagels out here. I mean, I'm sorry. And the people that want to do that, it's like the people that say, "Oh, there's no good pizza out here." Whatever, dude. There's tons of good pizza.
That's right.
You know, so.
And some of us like Dion's, so there.
Yeah, and Dion's is and people like Dion's too. So, but no, there are some good bagel places here. You know.
No, one of the things that cracks me up is the people who, because they came from big cities, are very dismissive of what Santa Fe has, and forget that we're not a very big town. I mean, we're really kind of a small city, and I think for a city our size, we have many choices. You know, from high end to just, your regular street
That's
truck.
what I've learned.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Miami, lived in New York City, lived in Los Angeles, so I'm a foodie. I love food, obviously. And I think for a town of, what are we, like around 90,000, not including tourists?
Yep.
We have 400-ish restaurants, many of which are pretty decent. So is it on the same level as New York City or LA? Maybe not.
No.
But for a small town, it's not bad,
we're not
man.
Paris, but
Yeah.
that's okay,
Yeah. I mean, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. What I always tell people is our bagel may not be as good as New York City, but our green chili is better than anywhere in the world.
Yeah, but see, I would argue with that, though. See, I would disagree. If somebody said it's not as good as New York City, I would
say it is.
I would debate it.
Yeah.
There's crappy bagels in New York City, too.
No, that's true. I actually took a trip to New York where I think, ate in every bad restaurant there. It was the worst food experience of my life. And you know that it's better, and I had been there before when it was better. And for whatever reason, this time, the banquet food that we had at our convention was the best meal I ate, which is about as bad luck as you can get, I think.
Yeah. No, there's good food here. And obviously, it's not as many options as the major cities. But again, it's a population thing. So,
yeah. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to end up with Afghan food soon. Since we have, refugees that have moved here. That would be kind of exciting.
And a Jewish deli.
Oh, everyone wants a Jewish deli. And on that note,
whitefish.
Oh, I love it. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment with more Conversations Different.
Thanks, Inez. This is Patrick Dorsey, publisher of the Santa Fe New Mexican. We hope you're enjoying this episode of Conversations Different with Inez Russell Gomez. Great local content is only possible with a talented staff dedicated to bringing you the best local content possible. For that staff to do its work, we need your support by subscribing to the Santa Fe New Mexican. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. And if not, there's never been a better time to subscribe. In addition to our home-delivered newspaper that comes with full digital access, we also provide digital-only subscriptions for SantaFeNewMexican.com. We'll also be releasing more online-only audio and video programming moving forward. The Santa Fe New Mexican has been here for nearly 175 years, and we want to continue being your source for local news and information. Visit us at SantaFeNewMexican.com/subscribe or call us at 505-986-3010. Thank you.
It's a new day in New Mexico, and the doors to boundless opportunity are open as tens of thousands of New Mexicans reach higher to pursue a dream, broaden their horizons, and retrain for a better job. With the New Mexico Lottery and Opportunity Scholarships, you could build yourself a better future anywhere in the state. You put in the hard work, we'll help with the costs. For eligibility details, visit reachhighernm.com.
We are back with Conversations Different, talking to Robert McCormick about food in Santa Fe. Let's start with a definition. What is a foodie?
There's been arguments about that in the group. I don't know. Foodie, it's somebody that's interested in food, but there's different definitions. It's all subjective. Everybody has their own version of it. For me, a foodie is somebody that has, for me, a legit interest in food that is above, let's say, junk food and fast food. There's somebody that's really interested in food, like real food, good cuisine, more elevated things like that. But then again, home cooking.
Yeah. And that's
great. I love home cooking. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I love watching what people fix. And I know the other day my son decided to make a pot roast that he found, and it was based on a recipe that was served in United Airlines circa 1950. And, I cook a good pot roast, olive oil, salt, pepper, put it in the oven, boom, I'm done, because I am very lazy when it comes to cooking. This is like this complicated deal where you get marrow bones and just all these other ingredients and butter and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he did it, and I took a picture, and he was very happy that it got likes on the foodie page because he wanted other people to see that this thing had taken him 5 hours to make,
Sure. I mean, but, is there somebody I'm sure there are people that are connoisseurs of junk food.
Yes.
They, experts on McDonald's versus Sonic.
Well, McDonald's French fries are the best.
Those are awesome. They're actually really great fries, right?
Yeah.
So the foodie, it's a very,
right.
It's just a catchy title. But for people that are interested in food.
Yeah, and who like to eat and who want to have a good meal when they do eat. It doesn't necessarily have to be healthy, but it has to be really tasty. I mean, I look at the Pop-Tarts from the Orno restaurant, that dessert, which I've never had because I keep...
man, you haven't had that?
No, I hardly ever go out. But I just look at those. He makes this dessert that looks just like Pop-Tarts with sprinkles and ice cream, and you just want to die when you see it. It's so yummy.
Yeah, that's probably, I would say, like one of the top 5 desserts in town.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's incredible. It's so good. You have to go do it.
Yeah.
You're like right down the street.
I know.
Go.
I should go. And every Wednesday or every other Wednesday they have fried chicken because I don't think you can get that great of fried chicken regularly in Santa Fe.
Have you been to Anthony's Grill?
Every time I try to go by, it's either closed or I call and they didn't answer. But I know it's good. I've been meaning to go.
It's very good.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, David, the Ordinal's good. But yeah, everybody loves Anthony's Grill fried chicken. Mm-hmm.
I think it was La Masia. There used to be a restaurant in Pojoaque that had really good fried chicken. And that was where I would go because when my mother wasn't, when she was alive, I would just go home and she would make it for me. But now she's not alive and I never learned to make it.
Yeah, go try Anthony's.
Yeah.
It's really good. Everybody really likes it.
Yeah. Does everyone bother you all the time? Robert, where should I go? What should I do? What do you think?
Yeah, sometimes. But I like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You're popular.
It's fun. It's like really community oriented. So that's one of the things that I love about the whole concept. It's not just about food, it's about community.
Right.
And it brings people together. So that's really important to me.
No, I think that's true. And like I said, the fact that you guys are meeting in real life and I think people have become friends, because of the Foodies pages is in a country that's suffering an epidemic of loneliness.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've got buddies.
You make a lot of friends and some enemies.
Yes.
But mostly friends, And so it's very community oriented. So I love it. Yeah.
One of the things I also like about the page is that people can be, let's say, strict about their desires if the service is bad or they thought the meal wasn't as good as possible, but there's not really the kind of toxicity that you see in so much social media. Like people who are really nasty get shut down quickly or you remove them or something happens. So it's not like just, rah everything.
That's been an evolutionary process, actually. The group the 7 years that it's been developing. Originally, I started out trying to keep it as wide open as possible. And then as it got more and more popular, more narcissistic, toxic personalities started trying to overtake the group and bully people. And even there, I was struggling with where do I draw the line? Where do I put my foot down? And it started getting pretty bad. Like my friends were messaging me like, Robert, dude, it's getting a little... it's getting a little toxic here. So I've had to become stricter because, unfortunately, in the world, bad people will dominate over nice people. Nice people often won't say anything.
Right.
The bad people are just going to come in and trample over everything and do whatever they want to do. So I've had to become tougher and a little bit more stern, as you're saying, with just shutting people out immediately. So I've learned to not care as much about those kind of people, you know?
What's nice as a user, though, is it's a pleasant place to go look about food, to find a good restaurant recommendation or to look at other people's cooking and say, wow, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
So you have made the experience, it might be hard for that individual, but the experience for everybody else is much nicer.
Yeah. It's just supposed to be, we're just, a friendly place for people to talk about food and use that as a connection point to connect with people in town, and make friends and also support local businesses and just all that kind of stuff,
Do you have any secret places that you tell people that are off the beaten path that if, your buddy comes to Santa Fe from Florida or Los Angeles and says, where should I go? That's the biggest secret in town.
That's all in the group.
Yeah.
That's what the group's about. That's, like where the locals go, which is part of my catchphrase for Santa Fe Foodies.
Yeah.
And so you can go to Santa Fe Foodies and find out what the locals are doing, where we like to eat, So, yeah, there's no secrets. It's all right there. And that's what people go there. And you see how people go and ask,
yes.
Hey, where should I go this weekend?
That's right. No, they do. I'm coming. We have people coming in July or August, and they're already planning their itinerary of menus and what restaurants they want to go to. Yeah.
And that's the cool thing. As a group, everybody likes to talk about it, and everybody likes to pitch in their thoughts and their opinions of where those people should go.
Yes.
And, hey, we're going to be here on Sunday.
That's right.
Where should we go for lunch? And then you're going to get the whole range of everything that's open for lunch on Sunday from everybody.
That's right.
So
and
it's
a real good tip for people because a lot of things aren't open every day now because of COVID, even after the pandemic kind of is over. Mm-hmm. So when you go ask, you get some tips that you might say, oh, that restaurant's going to be closed on a Monday or whatever. Yep.
It's crowdsourcing.
Yes.
Which is just such a rich way to communicate and gather information from people. That's one of the great things about the digital age is the crowdsourcing concepts.
It is.
So, yeah.
And especially, I think, translating it into real life meetings, you get, because too often we're so virtually alive, we're not alive in real time. And this kind of changes that, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And on that, we will take a quick break and be back in a moment with another segment of Conversations Different.
My name is Maria Jose Rodriguez Cadiz, and I am the Executive Director with Solace Sexual Assault Services. Our mission is to prevent sexual violence and empower survivors of sexual violence through restoring dignity, strength, and resiliency. For almost 51 years, Solace has reduced the impact of sexual violence. We do it by focusing on human rights, social justice, hope, and dignity. We believe survivors are experts in their own experiences and acknowledge that empowering them is crucial to their healing. Our advocacy, forensic interviewing, and therapy services are centered to their needs. Our sexual violence prevention programs in schools and community is just as important. Please check our website at findsolace.org. And if in need, you can call our 24/7 hotline, which is 800-721-7273. Your support is crucial to the lives of survivors. Thank you. Gracias.
We are back with Conversations Different, talking about the Santa Fe Foodies Facebook page. And there's also a website, which is Santa Fe
Foodies NM.com. NM as in New Mexico.
That's right. And you get on that and you can find out where to go for lunch, breakfast. There's every holiday you do what restaurants are open on holidays as well.
I do a Christmas guide, a Thanksgiving guide. Right now on the website, there's 190 categories with 300 plus restaurants with more to add. And everything are restaurants that people talk about in the groups favorably. So I don't list everything.
Okay.
But there's a lot of places that people like. And so it's a pretty big list. I mean, I still have to add like 100 more restaurants that people talk about in the group. It's crazy.
That is.
For Santa Fe?
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And you know, I'm always surprised at how often some people go out to eat because I don't really like to cook, but I like to eat other people in my family's cooking. And B, it's kind of expensive.
Yeah, things are more expensive now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I like to eat things out that I can't cook at home. That's kind of our guideline.
That's me too.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah. Did you start your topic for your category for fish tacos yet?
I have it saved. I have a file for it from the conversations.
Okay.
Because that's what I do. I watch the group and I have files and files and files of notes that I just kind of watch and create. So I'm going to get to it. Yeah. Right now I'm updating all the current restaurants, the spring and summer hours. So right now I'm digging through the internet.
Oh, wow. That's
which is
hard.
insane.
Yes.
Because unfortunately the restaurants don't do a very good job of synchronizing all their Google profile with their Facebook profile and their restaurants. So I had to look at all the different listings for one place and,
and try to match them, make sure they're right.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to call them because, they're all too busy to respond anyways.
So
I just do it myself. So.
But that's still hard. What drives me nuts is when I open a Facebook page, I just want a phone number because a lot of times I like to call. I don't like to order online as much because I like to not have my credit card information in the ether. I just want to call and get supper. So just have the number and the address where I can see it. Yes.
I know. I tell restaurants that they don't all listen to me though.
No, they do not. I know that.
Just put all that basic information right there at the top.
That's right, because then you got it and you don't have to look.
Yeah.
And make the menu easy to hit because a lot of times you can only find menus if it's someone took a picture of the menu.
Yeah, with websites, people get creative.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they get a little too creative and forget about the point, which is, what's the phone number? Where's the menu? What's the address? That's all I want to know.
That's right. Because I want to go
get all the other cool stuff in there, which is fun. But, yeah. So it gets a little confusing sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, some of my favorite restaurants now, because we ate at home for the first month or so of the pandemic, and then we knew that local businesses needed support, so we'd pick one or two a week and go get takeout. That was like our family deal, and I loved how creative people were in staying alive.
Mm-hmm. There's an Albuquerque Foodies member, I can't remember her name right now, but her and her partner, for months, they've been doing where every weekend they're doing the letter of the alphabet.
Oh, okay.
And so every weekend they get to the next letter. And I think they're up to R.
Oh, wow. So they're doing all...
Yep. And then they post about it. This weekend we were at the letter Q and here's where we went. And then they do a little review, and so that's their little food adventure that they like doing together.
I love that because one of my problems is that I get used to places and I just like to go to them because when you try a new place, it might be wonderful, but often it's not as wonderful as you thought. And then you're saying, why didn't I just go to X? Because I know what to expect. I mean, consistency to me in a restaurant is probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because, you want your dish to taste the same every time. You want it to always be warm, all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that. I mean, consistency's nice, but, sometimes you want to go try something different.
No, and I've tried. I do that. And every once in a while I like it.
And sometimes you take a chance because not everybody likes the same thing.
Nope.
Somebody's going to rave it. Oh, you have to go here. It's amazing. You go and it's like, oh, I don't get it. I don't see what was so great about it, but,
Yeah, there's a very popular local restaurant that I don't understand why anybody goes to, and I will not mention it by name because why would one do that? But it's just like...
Oh, now you're doing what they do in the group.
Yes.
And everybody's like, no, well, tell us. What was it? You can't just do that. You got to tell us. You can't do that.
Oh,
what are you here for in the first place?
That's right. But, people like different things. That is a perfect...
Yep.
Yeah, I grew up, my mom had a small restaurant in Las Vegas, New Mexico. And then before that, she was a waitress and did banquets. So I grew up around food. And that's probably why I don't like to cook, is because she did. And it's really, really hard work.
Can you give me a hint? Give me a hint of the place.
Off the air. But I mean, a restaurant is hard. I mean, that is just, she would get up and go, 6 o'clock to get ready for breakfast. And it's a difficult job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely difficult. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My grandma made tortillas and sold them, and she got up at 4 to make her dough because they were out the door by 6:30 or 7. And that is anybody who makes 6 dozen tortillas a day every day. They didn't have presses and stuff in those days.
People like Marcel from Meal Cafe.
Yes.
He makes the croissants from scratch.
Gosh.
And we spent a day doing it. And yeah, it's a process. So anybody in the restaurant industry, even the most basic restaurant.
No,
it's a lot of work.
It is. And having that many items on the menu, when you have 15 or 20 dishes or whatever they have, it's like you have to have the ingredients and you have to purchase them, keep them, and sell them. I mean, it's a very complicated effort.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
How has this changed your life doing Foodies?
How's it changed my life?
Because you're still a musician, so you've kept that going, and now do you eat out more? Do you have more variety of food in your life?
I eat out a lot more now because I cook at home a lot, but now with the group, I have made a big effort to eat out a lot more, and so I allocate a lot more of my money to eating out to help with that whole thing of Santa Fe Foodies. But so I do that. As far as my life in general, I mean, I'm just very happy. It's very fulfilling because I think the whole concept is very deep. Again, the whole community aspect of it. So that's a very important part of my life, and so that I can do that and make a living from it, I'm very, very fulfilled from it. So I've kind of achieved one of my major goals of why I moved out here.
Right.
To do something that I love, and that's community oriented. That's
Yeah. Because you've brought a ton of people together. And it's a real interesting group because there's a lot of people who've moved here. There's the people passing through who want to know where to go. And then there's a lot of longtime locals who have opinions about food, both New Mexican and other varieties. And they're all chatting and conversing fairly, positively and without too much rancor.
And that's, for me, it's all about unity. And like when the group developed, as the group started getting more and more popular, tourists started discovering the group. They're like, oh, this is like a locals group. Oh, I want to be a part of it. And then the people in the group are like, no, they're not from here. Don't let them in. Like, no, let them in. This is, it's a small planet in a massive universe. So why have these borders up? It's all about bringing people together.
No, I like that. And that's a great place to end. And on that note, we will be back next week with another Conversations Different.